My name's Duddy, Saddle Builds and stuff. Today's video is absolutely insane. I ain't joking you, it's a crazy combo. Look at the state of this. Threadlings that are doing 60% damage. We're going to be featuring Felwinters Helm. Finishers give you a 30% debuff. And we're going to be pairing up with Pack Tactics, which also give you Threadlings 30% damage. This combo is nuts. I don't know where I think about these things, but it's absolutely crazy. So the loop of play, finish, and we're going to make our Threadlings do 60% damage with the debuff and Pack Tactics all stacking together, and you cause an absolute mess. Loads of extra damage on our Threadlings, and we're going to be featuring the new Weavewalk buff with Woven Mail, up to 20 seconds of Woven Mail, with Heartshadow as well for even more weakening and some other options. Really strong, exceptional build. And of course, Felwinters got buffed as well, where the melee applies a 15%. Look at the state of that will be Pack Tactics. That Sepix Prime just gets absolutely rinsed. So we'll start off with the Felwinters Helm. It's had a change. Powered melee hits now weaken targets. So if you hit them with your powered melee, you're going to apply a 15% debuff. But powered melee final blows create a burst of energy that weakens nearby targets. And finishes and final blows against more powerful targets. Increases the effect 30%, and the radius is absolutely massive. Look at the state of this radius of the finisher. It even affects the things at the back. Really, really strong. A couple of fragments, I'll go over everything, but Thread of Finality, Finisher, Final Blows, Create Threadlings. This is going to work really nice with this build, and then we've got Weaver's Call Aspect. Activate class ability to summon Threadlings, and then every time you damage or defeat targets, it generates perch Threadlings that will stick with you as well. Thread of Evolution, Threadlings travel further and deal additional damage on top of your Felwinters. But the finisher for Threadlings is a fragment that doesn't get used a lot, and it works perfectly with this build. So every time you get a finisher, you're going to create a Threadling, at least one Threadling, maybe two, because you've also got your Weaver's Call active as well, and that will generate Threadlings when you do damage or defeat targets. You're just going to see random Threadlings attacking the target. And this works nicely because you're going to keep a constant supply of your Threadling damage, which is going to proc a couple of perfect seasonal artifact perks. Threadling Proliferation just adds to the Threadling effect, dealing damage with strand weapon, has a chance to generate a Threadling. But Pack Tactics is the main source, dealing damage with Threadlings, increases Threadling damage. This goes up to 30%, which is absolutely huge for Threadlings, plus all your other fragments we've talked about. So you're going to get 30% plus 30% from your Felwinters Helm as well. So the little loop of play, get a finisher, get your Pack Tactics going from your various sources, get your Weaver's Call down, throw your grenade, which you're going to stack into about 150 grenade damage, and it's absolutely massive. 60% on the fly at a minimum on these Threadlings, plus all the weakening effects. It's absolutely crazy. We're going to have loads of survivability as well with this build, and generate an absolute crap ton of Threadlings with Weavewalk. Enter Weavewalk, you sort of weave in and out of reality, and then while you're in Weavewalk, your melee energy perch is drained, and you generate perch Threadlings over time. And of course, it got buffed. Every time you come out of your Weavewalk, you're going to get Woven Mail. The timer is extended on the Woven Mail, dependent on how long you stay in your Weavewalk for. So enter your Weavewalk. Now bear in mind, again, you've got all the ways of creating Threadlings, which we've talked about. You're going to generate perch Threadlings, get Woven Mail, up to 20 seconds, the longer you stay in it. But even like 10 seconds of Woven Mail is absolutely nuts. Now, generating a load of perch Threadlings is just insane for this build, plus the other things we've seen. You'll see now, get your finisher going, you've got your grenade and your class ability, bang that down, get your Pack Tactics, throw your grenade, and things just go pop. They just get absolutely rinsed. Really, really strong build, and I'm also going to show you this obviously working in some ultimate modes and 40 levels under and things like that. So it's really, really good. There's a couple of different gear sets you could run with this before we get into the actual footage of the build, but just one more little play around. Look at the state, all debuffed, and don't forget your Pack Tactics will buff your super as well, because your strand super is obviously Threadlings. Now, there's a couple of different gear sets you could use with this. I wanted to go with the new Smoke Jumper set. 2-piece, ride together, die together. When you pick up an orb of power, you gain a brief period of rapidly decaying damage reduction. And the 4-piece fits this perfectly because defeating a powerful combatant with a finisher grants you special ammo progress and replenishes a small amount of health on top of your woven mail from your Weavewalk. It just works really, really nice. So basically, the two-piece pick up an orb of power. You're going to see the ride together, die together on the bottom left. That gives you a 45% damage reduction for about a second. Then it drops down to 15% and it will just dwindle out. But it's not a bad little two-piece combo. And then the other one is healing on finisher kills. It's not absolutely great, but the special ammo progress and the healing with that finisher just works nicely. Now, bearing in mind, you're also going to be having your Weavewalk and your woven mail, etc. So it's just nice, but you could also run something like the Prosciutto gear set as well. So that's most of the build explained. Although I've got some other stuff to show you as well, like the fragments and the seasonal artifact perks, which buff this build out even more. So I'm going to show you some examples on how this could be useful. 30% from your finisher. You'll notice that I also throw my melee to apply 15%, which is absolutely crazy. When you've got your pack tactics going on that super, it does real nice lot of damage, which I'm going to show you some more clips of that as well. And obviously, that buffed Felwinters, where your melee applies a 15%, is exceptional for you and anyone else you're playing with. So it's just a nice little buff to Felwinters. And like I said, you are pretty tanky with your Weavewalk because you're sort of invisible anyway. And the damage that you do with this, again, this was like a -40 ultimate mode. And you'll see here, this champion, he sort of gets wrecked, and you're also suppressing the targets as well. It kind of has like a suppressing effect, and that champion just gets wrecked. So whenever you do a finisher, it also does like a disorienting effect as well. So it all works pretty nicely together. Just slows the play down really, really nicely. And again, you'll just see these champions getting rinsed even with a 15%. A really good weapon to run with this is Heartshadow, because heavy attacks with full sword energy turn you invisible, and then you also going to get shot in the dark active. When you come out of invisibility, hit them with a light attack or a heavy attack, and you're going to apply a 15% debuff. It's also got a catalyst on there, not a biggie if you haven't got it, but just having 15% on the fly will save you using that melee as well. So you've either got your 30%, which is ideally what you want to be doing, but you've also got your Heartshadow with some crazy survivability with your woven mail. And just having a 15% in your pack tactics is really, really strong. Like I said, you don't really see many sort of builds like this. It is a build that is off meta, but it's incredibly strong. Really, really strong. Again, watch this champion. Pack tactics, 50% or 30%, whether you use your Heartshadow or finishers. Another one of these Overload champion getting absolutely wrecked. Get that finisher going. What a sick finisher that is as well. I didn't even realise he had it. My mate pointed it out to me. Look at that. Absolutely gross. Iron Lord's Vigor is a really good seasonal artifact perk with this build. Obviously using your Heartshadow or another sword. Wielding a sword, you take decreased damage on top of your woven mail, and you're going to get ammo back as well. And you can actually use this to be very, very aggressive. Get into your Weavewalk, get your woven mail. You've also got that Iron Lord's Vigor as well. So you can apply that 15% or your 30% with a finisher and just keep spamming your Threadlings with your grenades, etc. Really, really like tanky build as well. I can't stress to you how tanky you are with this build. And then watch Sepix here again. His health just gets absolutely rinsed. That's your pack tactics and the melee 15% from Felwinters all working together. And you can actually loop the play with the finishers, slowing the play down, applying that 30% debuff on the fly, being really tanky with your sword and your woven mail. Your Heartshadow is exceptional for this build, just works really, really nice. And one more time, just lob your melee across just to apply that 15% debuff and unraveling and get your pack tactics going. It does some very nice damage against bosses as well. One more, a couple more clips of me showing you how tanky you can be. Again, ultimate mode, get your weakening on. You got your woven mail, Iron Lord's Vigor, all that extra damage from your Threadlings and your pack tactics. You can actually push up very, very close and play very risky with this build. So you do a load of damage, but you are extremely, extremely tanky with this build also. There is a couple of other seasonal artifact perks that really help this build out. Tightly woven. While you've got woven mail from your Weavewalk, you're going to gain increased class ability and grenade stats, which is obviously helping your Threadling output. Threadling proliferation, which we've touched on. Pack tactics, again, which we've touched on. And then Iron Lord's Vigor, or Vigor, whatever you want to call it, is the other one, again, which we've already touched on. So all these work together, especially the tightly woven, because when you got that woven mail, you're going to improve your class ability, your Weaver's Call, and your grenade stats as well. So you're going to get a bit of extra damage and grenade regeneration. And don't forget, Pack Tactics actually stuns Unstoppable as well. Very easy to do. All you have to do is throw your Rift down, basically, or come out your Weavewalk, and you're going to unstop champions, unstoppable champions as well. So it just works extremely nicely, all working sort of good together. Then one more little clip before I show you the rest of the build, just for a bit of a fast extra damage on your super. Just apply that weakening effect from your melee. Now, the rest of the build, Thread of Generation, dealing damage generates grenade energy. This one's a no-brainer, free grenade energy. Thread of Finality, which we've touched on, finish the final blows, create Threadlings, really strong fragment. Thread of Evolution, Threadlings travel further and deal additional damage. Thread of Rebirth, strand weapon final blows have a chance to create a Threadling. Just wanted to buff out Threadlings as much as possible. And then Thread of Warden, picking up an orb of power, is also going to grant woven mail. Stat-wise, I basically built into weapon damage and grenade damage. I've also got some fonts on my arm, so my grenade's roughly about 150. And as long as you're running about 80 class ability, you're going to be able to keep that Threadling damage up all of the time. Again, you could also run Bushido, something like that. Let me know if you can think of any other decent gi sets, but that pretty much wraps up this build. I'll leave a dim link. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.